Have you ever experienced something so unbelievable and unusual that nobody believed you? Fortunately, nowadays practically everyone carries a camera in their pocket, which helps prove what actually happened. Furthermore, security cameras are everywhere, recording these incredible moments that end up on the internet. And that is precisely what we are going to check out today. In the year 2017, Paris decided to take the all-you-can-eat concept to an extreme level. Au Naturel, the first nudist restaurant in the city, was inaugurated. To enter the venue, guests had to leave not only their cell phones, but also all their clothing in the cloakroom. The idea came from the brothers Mike and Stéphane Sada, who opened the space in the French capital. Inside, everything followed naturist protocol. Thick curtains guaranteed the privacy of the clients, no cell phones or photography were allowed, and the environment was designed to be respectful and free of any mocking atmosphere. And yes, the staff wore clothing, especially those working in the kitchen, thankfully. The menu was quite traditional: foie gras, escargot, crème brûlée, everything in the authentic French bistro style. And the restaurant even achieved success. It received praise on social media and attracted curious visitors from all over the world. However, despite all the buzz, the project did not last long. Just over a year after its opening, Au Naturel announced the end of its activities. According to the owners, the reason was financial. Although the local public supported it, that alone was not enough to keep the business running. Even so, the restaurant stood out as one of the most unusual ideas ever tested in the gastronomic universe. After all, dining nude in the middle of Paris is not something you see every day. This scene took place in Pernambuco, Brazil. It was the very end of the afternoon when a tractor-trailer overturned right in front of a small market. By a hair's breadth, a much greater tragedy was narrowly avoided. A security camera recorded everything. In the footage, you can see a motorcyclist parking his bike on the sidewalk and entering the market calmly. But a few seconds later, the truck appears on the street and simply tips over onto its side. The cargo plummets with force, hitting the motorcycle and part of the sidewalk, exactly where the young man had been moments before. Witnesses reported that the truck was already leaning to one side. Since the asphalt is sloped at that stretch, the driver could not maintain control. That was enough for everything to come crashing down. The Capoeira's city administration stated that it was made aware of the accident, but no teams were dispatched. By a true miracle, nobody was injured, and those involved managed to remove the vehicle and the cargo from the site themselves. If the motorcyclist had taken 5 seconds longer to dismount, the outcome would have been completely different. You have to see it to believe it. Some women caught a man taking photographs of them without permission in a public place. Everything was recorded on video and later published on social media as a denunciation. At the beginning of the recording, one of the women asks if he was really photographing them. He denies it. However, they inform him that they have been alerted to what he was doing and demand to see his phone's gallery. The man refuses, gives evasive answers, and only begins to admit when he is really pressured. The argument heats up. They explain, quite rightly, that taking photographs of people without consent is wrong and demand that he delete the images in front of them. Even visibly nervous, the man hesitates, but ends up deleting a sequence of photos. He is then instructed to delete them from the trash folder of the device as well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now go in your trash bin.
No, that's my son.
Go in your trash bin. Anybody recognize this man? This is somebody that takes pictures.
The videographer captured the man's face, asking the internet if anyone could recognize him. She took the opportunity to warn about the danger of that kind of behavior, saying it cannot be ignored besides giving him a scolding and telling him never to repeat such conduct. More than an embarrassing scene, the video raises a fundamental discussion about privacy, respect, and safety. After all, it is not normal to act in that way without the permission of the women involved. This video looks like it was captured inside a video game, but it really happened. Two cars were speeding down a highway when suddenly, one of them simply stops, as if it had collided with an invisible barrier, literally. With no apparent obstacle, the car brakes sharply, its rear end lifts, and the other vehicle behind cannot avoid it. The result is a collision, with the second car sliding under the first, as if it were a poorly rendered animation. The video is so peculiar that viewers could not help comparing it to electronic games. Many recalled moments when, in certain games, you encounter an invisible wall at the edge of the map, or that the driver had not unlocked that part of the scenery. But thinking about it, nobody has been able to explain what actually happened there. It may have been a mechanical issue, perhaps the vehicle locked up because of something not visible in the footage, like a chain, a cable, or an obstacle camouflaged by dust. There are also those who believe the video was edited to seem more mysterious than it really is, which would not be surprising on the internet. This recording is one of those that makes people watch and wonder, how does she stand it? Bianca Censori, an Australian architect and current wife of Kanye West, turned 30 years old and celebrated in grand style, or almost. The celebration took place in the Maldives, with celebrities such as Penelope Cruz and the basketball player Elizabeth Cambage in attendance. But what really drew attention was the strange atmosphere between the couple. Bianca appeared in a form-fitting bikini, apparently chosen by Kanye, and even with all that effort to please him when she blew out the candles, he barely reacted. No smile, no congratulations, no display of affection. Those who watched found the scene uncomfortable, more like a performance than a real celebration. Meanwhile, Kanye remains away from the United States. He and Bianca have spent the last few months in Japan, supposedly to escape his legal troubles in the United States. The rapper is facing serious lawsuits, ranging from stalking to much more severe accusations. And, according to people close to them, this nomadic lifestyle is also an attempt to avoid media exposure and press harassment. Recently, the couple acquired a mansion valued at $35 million United States dollars in Beverly Hills. It is said to have been Kanye's attempt to save the relationship, as Bianca was tired of moving from country to country. This birthday party became yet another strange chapter in the couple's increasingly public and questionable relationship. This moment went viral on the internet, with people screaming, "It's a miracle! It is something that literally, if it had not been filmed, nobody would believe." The event was a lively party with loud music and people dancing. In the midst of the excitement, a woman begins to dance right in front of a man seated in a wheelchair. All normal, until suddenly, the man stands up, just like that. He rises and starts dancing along. Everybody goes wild. Despite the prank, attentive viewers notice that the man probably could already stand up with some effort. In fact, when he is filmed from behind, it is possible to see that his legs are weak, thin, crooked, unsteady. In other words, it is not as if he were totally unable to walk. Even so, the sense of humor knows no bounds. The man in the wheelchair joins the joke and starts laughing, saying that it really was a miracle. In the end, nobody seemed offended. It was a light, unexpected moment that went viral on social media, much more for the collective reaction than for the situation itself. It seems that dance, especially when beautiful women are involved, really has more power than we imagine. In the second edition of Big Brother Brazil, contestant Saida experienced one of the most unbelievable moments in the history of the show, and to this day, people get chills just remembering it. She was lying on the lawn, sunbathing, when she heard a voice calling her name repeatedly. She looked around, trying to understand where it was coming from, but no one seemed to be speaking to her. Shortly afterward, production summoned her and gave her the news that her dear sister Gloria, who had been hospitalized with cancer, had passed away. The detail that made everything even more striking was the timing. The call that Saida heard occurred about half an hour after her sister's death. For many, this was interpreted as something spiritual, as if her sister had come to say goodbye. For Saida, it was a sign of a very strong connection with her sister, something only those who have lost someone very close can understand.
Eu vi meu nome, Cida. Aonde? Quem tá chamando?
Even shaken, Saida decided to stay in the show. She declared that her sister was a strong woman who always faced life's challenges with courage and that she wanted to honor that strength by continuing in the game. As a tribute, she sang a song they both loved and spoke about how much she felt that bond, which, according to her, was not broken even by her sister's passing. It was one of the most moving moments of the reality show and is still used as an example that there are things between heaven and earth that science cannot explain. This is one of those videos you watch laughing, but then realize the ending could have been tragic. Four girls are at the front of a boat, enjoying a sea outing. They are excited, laughing, and clearly had been drinking alcohol. One even raises her cup in celebration. Meanwhile, the person filming stays further back away from the bow for good reason. Suddenly, the boat hits the water forcefully, and immediately afterward, a huge wave strikes the fore. Cold water everywhere, cushions flying, and luckily nobody went overboard. They managed to hold onto the railing, but the scare was big. No one was hurt, but the mood turned tense. Boating under the influence of alcohol, especially at high speed and at the front of the boat, is a combination that can end very badly. In this case, the video went viral as a funny moment, but could easily have ended in tragedy. There is nothing more romantic than proposing to someone in the middle of nature, beside an impressive waterfall. Just don't drop the ring, because then it becomes almost impossible to find, and that is exactly what happened in this video. A couple was at the edge of a waterfall, with that beautiful river scenery, nature, and a tranquil atmosphere. Suddenly, the man kneels down in that classic proposal style. He takes the ring, is about to surprise her, and then the unexpected happens. The ring slips from his hand and simply falls straight into the river. There is no time to react. The person filming immediately starts screaming, "Oh my God!" at the top of their lungs. The couple goes into shock, and that is it. The video is very short, but the scene went viral because of the unexpected disaster. It is unknown if the ring was later recovered, but from everyone's reaction, it seems it became fish decor. It is the kind of situation that mixes embarrassment, desperation, and nervous laughter. After all, an engagement ring is not cheap. So, if you are going to propose near water, hold onto that jewel tightly, because at times like that, the tide may not be in your favor. During a live broadcast of the morning show, Buenos Dias a Todos, reporter Bernardita Middleton was on Renaka Beach in Chile when the studio host decided to challenge her. She would have to enter the cold Pacific Ocean live on air. Without much thought to the consequences, Bernardita readily accepted. She removed her blue dress, revealed a strapless bikini, and ran toward the water. On the first dive, everything went as expected. She returned smiling, waved at the camera, and made the studio crew laugh. But then came the second dive, and with it a stronger wave. The bikini, without straps, slipped. The top slid down to her waist, and she had to adjust everything right there, in front of her colleagues and viewers. To top it off, they showed the moment in slow motion, complete with a replay. Later, in an interview, she explained that the bikini was new, had been a gift, and she had not planned to enter the water that day. With the straps loose, all it took was a stronger wave to cause the incident. Despite the embarrassment, the presenter took the situation in stride, saying that the waves at that beach are mischievous and that such things happen there all the time. Indeed, live television has its risks but also yields good stories. In August of 2023, during the floods caused by a typhoon in Beijing, China, a family was stranded on their roof, surrounded by the strong current. The water rose so quickly that it was impossible to walk out, much less wait for rescuers, who were overwhelmed by numerous emergencies. That is when an unlikely hero appeared. A man driving a backhoe loader crossed the flood and rescued the entire family. The video shows the backhoe loader battling the force of the water as people are evacuated one by one, all this amid the chaos of the flood, with violent currents and an atmosphere of extreme tension. Some even doubted it, claiming it was fake news or an action movie footage, but various news outlets confirmed the veracity of the event, including CNN and the Chinese state newspaper People's Daily. It seems like something out of a movie, but sometimes real life offers scenes that not even the best screenwriter would imagine. Besides the rescued family, the manufacturer of the backhoe loader must have been thrilled by the publicity. Who would have thought such heavy machinery could operate in water without breaking down? It is the kind of thing you have to see to believe. A police stop in Las Vegas drew attention not only for the infraction but because the driver and her front seat companion were wearing bikinis. The story began when an officer pulled over the vehicle due to a broken taillight. The driver tried to explain that she had been in an accident and could not afford the repair on her own. However, upon checking her documentation, the officer discovered that her driver's license was expired and that there were outstanding infractions. The car had to be towed. As a result, the two women had to exit the vehicle and wait on the sidewalk wearing only the bikinis they had on. They sat on the curb while the officer searched the car and filled out all the necessary paperwork.
This is your license as well as your other old citations and what. Taken care of, okay? Have a better day. It's like these two gals kind of got acquainted with each other.
One of them even tried to argue that she was about to undergo surgery and needed the car. But according to the law, there was no exception. In the end, both were released but had to walk away in their beachwear, right there in Las Vegas. The case became one of the most remembered episodes of the police series that recorded everything. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.